Solution of question number 5. Here we have V be a vector space over the field F having dimension 10 and U and W are its two distinct subspaces with dimension 7. That is U and W have no common element except 0. Now U and W are subspaces. So that will implies U plus W is also be a subspaces of V. In fact, here U and W are distinct. So U plus W be the subspace properly contains U and W. So it is clear that dimension of U plus W cannot be 7. That is, it will be greater than 7. And also U plus W be a subspaces of V. So its dimension cannot be exceed by 10. So basically the possible dimension of U plus W are 8 or 9 or 10. Now we also know dimension of U plus dimension of W is equal to dimension of U intersection W plus dimension of U plus W. So that will implies dimension of U intersection W is equal to dimension of U plus dimension of W minus dimension of U plus W. That is, we have 14 minus dimension of U plus W. Now here possible dimensions for U plus W are 8, 9 or 10. So corresponding these we have possible dimensions for U intersection W are 6 or 5 or 4. So these are the three possible dimensions for U intersection W. So when we see in the options, then option D is incorrect. That is, dimension of U intersection W cannot be 8. So our option D is correct answer. Solution of question number 8. Here we have P, A and B are 3 points in the space, and we have to find the perpendicular distance of the point P to the line joining the points A and B. Now we will find the vector AB firstly. So AB vector is nothing but position vector of B minus position vector of A. Here position vector of B is 7i plus 5j minus 9k, and position vector of A is I plus 2j minus of 5k. So when we take position vector of B minus position vector of A, then we have 6i plus 3j minus 4k. That is, AB vector is equal to 6i plus 3j minus 4k. Now will we take AP vector, then AP vector is equal to position vector of P minus position vector of A. So similarly as above, this vector is equal to, that is, AP vector is equal to minus of 3i minus j plus 10k. Now let us assume that theta is the angle between the vector AB and AP. Now when we put perpendicular from the point P to the line AB, then that perpendicular is AN, that is, N is the foot of perpendicular on the line AB. Then as we see in the figure, A and P, it's a right angle triangle. So we can use here Pythagorean theorem, or we know sin theta is equal to magnitude of Pn vector divided by magnitude of AP vector. That is, magnitude of Pn is equal to magnitude of AP times sin theta. Here Pn is our required length. So when we compute it, then we have magnitude of Pn is equal to magnitude of AP cross AB divided by magnitude of AB. Since sin theta is equal to magnitude of AP cross AB divided by magnitude of AP times magnitude of AB, as in given in the solution. So when we compute it, then we have our answer is 7. That is, perpendicular distance of the point P to the line joining the point AB is 7. So our option C is correct. Solution of question number 14. Here we have X be a connected subset of a real numbers, and we know if A be a subset of R, then A is connected if and only if A be an interval. So X be a connected subset of R if and only if X be an interval, and here given that every element of X should be a rational number. So but we know if X be an interval, that is, it is either open interval or closed interval or semi-open semi-closed interval, then it always contains rational and irrational number. So X cannot be this kind of set. Now we also know that empty set and singleton set are also defined intervals, that is, they are also be the connected subsets of R. So the possibilities for X is either empty set or a singleton set. But since every element of X should be a rational number. So the only possibility of X is the singleton set. So clearly cardinality of X is 1. So only 1 is the correct answer. That is option D is correct. Solution of question number 18. Here we have a power series and we have to find the region of convergence for this power series. So for it, firstly we have to evaluate radius of convergence of the power series. Okay, now we know if summation n varying from 1 up to infinity an x minus x naught that raised to n be a power series, then its radius of convergence, that is r, is equal to 1 upon limit n tending to infinity mod of an whole raised to 1 by n. And here we have a power series summation n varying from 1 up to infinity an x minus 1 whole raised to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial. That is, instead of n we have 1 upon n minus 1 factorial. And our sequence an is defined as a1 equal to half and an plus 1 is equal to square root of n time an, that is an whole raised to 1 by n. So firstly we have to evaluate the sequence, re-evaluate the sequence an. So when we evaluate, that is we have to compute the terms of the sequence. So here a2 is equal to a1 whole raised to 1 by 1 factorial, that is 1 by 2 that raised to 1 by 1 factorial. a3 is equal to a2 whole raised to 1 by 2, that is 1 by 2 that to the power 1 by 2 factorial. Similarly a4 is equal to 1 by 2 whole raised to 1 by 3 factorial. a4 is equal a5 is equal to 1 by 2 whole raised to 1 by 4 factorial. Similarly we can write an is equal to 1 by 2 whole raised to 1 by n minus 1 factorial. Now we will evaluate the radius of convergence for the given power series. So r is equal to 1 upon limit n tending to infinity mod of an whole raised to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial. Remember here our n is nothing but 1 upon n minus 1 factorial, that is in the given power series we have x minus 1 whole raised to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial. So r is equal to 1 upon limit n tending to infinity mod of 1 by 2 that raised to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial, that to the power 1 upon n minus 1 factorial. So when we evaluate this, then we have 2, that is our radius is equal to 2. Now the region of convergence is equal to mod of x minus 1 is less than 2, that is x minus 1 lies between minus 2 and 2, that is x lies between minus 1 and 3. So our region of convergence is nothing but open interval minus 1 comma 3. So our option B is correct.